Kyoto reveals its beauty most tenderly at twilight. The day softens into evening, and the city begins to fold itself into stillness. The sun lowers, tinting the sky with strokes of violet and amber. Shadows stretch across the rooftops, and the first lanterns flicker to life. Their glow small but certain, like fireflies waking from sleep. We begin our walk along a quiet stone path. The air is cooler now, carrying the faint fragrance of pine trees and incense that lingers from the afternoon rituals. Cicadas, once loud in their chorus, fall silent one by one, their voices giving way to the softer hum of crickets. The soundscape shifts as though Kyoto itself is exhaling. It is the breath between day and night, when the city feels closest to its secrets. Ahead, temple rooftops curve against the twilight sky, their eaves sharp yet graceful, each tile catching the last light of day. Wooden beams glow with the deep warmth of centuries, painted not with color, but with time itself. The structures seem less like buildings and more like living guardians, watching quietly as the evening gathers. At the gate, a vermilion torii rises, its paint glowing softly in the dim light. By day, it is bold, commanding. At nightfall, it feels different, gentler, almost shy, like an invitation whispered rather than spoken. Passing beneath it, the air feels subtly cooler, as though stepping into another world. Along the stone steps, lanterns line the way. Their paper shades glow with golden light, casting patterns against the moss-covered walls. Some bear painted calligraphy, their brushstrokes shadows of the hands that made them. Each lantern feels personal, yet together they create a path that leads steadily upward, guiding without urgency. We climb slowly, the stone cool underfoot, polished smooth by centuries of pilgrims. Every step feels deliberate, each one a quiet offering of patience. Around us, the forest leans close, its leaves stirring softly in the evening breeze. The scent of earth and cedar mixes with the smoke of incense drifting from the temple above. At the courtyard, the space opens into stillness. The gravel has been raked into delicate patterns, lines flowing like water, circles radiating like ripples. Even in the dim light, the design is clear, each stone placed with care. It is a garden not meant to be walked upon, but to be seen, to be felt, to be entered only with the eyes and the breath. It teaches you stillness by example. From deeper within, a bell resonates. Its sound is deep, slow and steady, rolling outward like a wave across the air. The note lingers long after the strike, carrying into the forest, across the rooftops, and down into the valley. For a moment, it feels as though the whole world is listening, not just to the bell, but to the silence that follows. The sky grows darker now. Stars begin to appear, faint at first, then stronger, scattered between the clouds. The lanterns take on greater warmth, their glow more pronounced against the night. The temple seems to shift with the light, less an object and more a spirit, rising and falling with the rhythm of shadow and flame. Kyoto does not announce itself. It does not rush. It simply unfolds like a scroll unrolling at the pace of breath. In twilight, its beauty is quiet, steady, and eternal. And so, as we stand before the temple, surrounded by incense and lantern glow, we begin our journey into the night, a journey not of distance, but of stillness, of being carried gently by the city's twilight secrets.
The path leads us deeper, into a space where stone, wood, and shadow weave together. Lantern light spills across the gravel, catching on the edges of stepping stones that wind their way through moss and earth. The stones are uneven, their surfaces worn smooth by generations of careful feet. They invite slowness. Each step feels like an act of listening, as if the path itself is whispering a rhythm. The architecture of Kyoto temples is not about grandeur, but harmony. Wooden beams rise with steady grace, their joints fitted without nails, their strength born from patience rather than force. The wood darkens with age, polished by seasons of rain and sun, until it glows with a quiet luster in the lantern light. The roofs curve outward gently, like the arc of a bow, their tiles layered in rhythm, catching the violet tones of the sky. The gates stand tall, their vermilion paint dimming into deep shadow, their outlines softened by the dusk. Passing beneath them feels less like moving from one place to another and more like passing between worlds, a threshold where the body follows the mind into stillness. Every gate is a promise of calm, an invitation into sacred air. Beyond the gates, gardens unfold. A koi pond reflects the twilight sky, its surface broken gently by ripples as the fish move below. Lanterns float upon the water, their flames trembling in rhythm with the breeze. The reflections double the world, sky above, water below, both infinite in their own way. Watching them, you feel the boundaries blur as though the pond itself is a mirror into sleep. Stone lanterns stand in the garden, their carved surfaces mottled with moss. Their flames burn softly, contained within stone windows. They are not bright, not demanding, they are simply present. Guardians of light, offering their glow with humility. Some tilt slightly, leaning with age, yet their presence feels even stronger for it, as though the years have given them character rather than wear. In the corner, a bamboo grove sways gently. The stalks rise tall and slender, their leaves whispering together as the wind moves through them. The sound is unlike any other, a hollow, musical rustling, as though the bamboo is speaking in its own secret language. At twilight, the grove feels endless, the trunks repeating into the shadows, a forest within a forest. The stone paths lead onward, winding past shrines tucked into alcoves. Some shrines are no larger than a table, their roofs small, their doors closed, yet each one radiates significance, each one cared for with devotion. Offerings of flowers or coins rest before them, quiet signs of reverence left by unseen hands. The air around them feels thicker, more attentive, as though the space itself is aware. Wooden corridors stretch from temple to temple, their planks smooth underfoot. The scent of cedar and pine lingers in the air, blending with faint smoke from incense. Along the walls, sliding paper doors glow faintly, backlit by lanterns within. The light is soft, diffused, more suggestion than illumination. Walking past, you glimpse nothing inside, only shadows moving slowly like brushstrokes across paper. At the main hall, steps rise into a wide veranda. The view opens outward, revealing the valley below where rooftops scatter across the horizon. Twilight deepens into night, and the first stars shine above the ridges of the distant mountains. The city below is quiet, its lights few, its presence hushed. From here, the world feels balanced. Sky, earth, water, and flame held together in a single breath. The temple bell waits in its tower, its bronze surface darkened with time. When struck, its voice will ripple outward, rolling like thunder softened into velvet. But for now it waits in silence, its shape monumental, its presence reminding us that sound, like stillness, is sacred. Even the waiting feels alive.
As we wander further, we notice the details. The curve of roof tiles like waves frozen in time. The patterns of latticed windows. The way shadows slide across carved wood. None of it overwhelms. Each piece is deliberate, a gesture of harmony rather than display. Together, they create a rhythm, as though the entire temple is an instrument tuned to the key of twilight. A cat crosses the veranda, its paws silent on the wood. It pauses, looks once toward us, then disappears into the shadows of the garden. Even this small movement feels part of the architecture, a reminder that the temple is not separate from life, but woven into it. Kyoto's temples are not monuments to be admired from afar. They are places to be entered, absorbed, and shared. Their walls are not boundaries, but frames, guiding the mind toward calm. Their gardens are not ornaments, but teachers, showing how even stone and water can express silence. Their lanterns are not lights to conquer darkness, but companions to walk with it. As the night gathers, the architecture shifts. Wood grows darker, stone grows cooler, water grows deeper. What was once structure becomes presence. What was once material becomes spirit. And as we stand among these temples, surrounded by lanterns and shadows, we feel the truth of Kyoto's gift. Harmony, not as an idea, but as an experience. As twilight deepens into night, the atmosphere of Kyoto shifts with subtle grace. The architecture becomes a frame for sound, scent, and gesture. What was once seen now becomes felt, carried not by the eyes, but by the body itself. A temple bell is struck. Its voice is deep, resonant, and steady, filling the air with a vibration that lingers long after the strike. It rolls across the courtyards, through the bamboo groves, and into the valleys beyond. The sound is not a command, but an invitation, asking all who hear it to pause, to breathe, to join the rhythm of the night. Monks move quietly through the grounds, their robes brushing against the stone. Some carry lanterns, their light swaying gently with each step. Others tend to incense, placing sticks before altars where smoke curls into the dark. The fragrance rises slowly, winding upward as though eager to join the stars. The air becomes layered, wood, moss, and now the sweetness of incense, blending into a single breath. Visitors wander softly, their voices hushed. Some bow before shrines, their hands pressed together in reverence. Others sit upon benches, gazing into the gardens without words. A child clings to a parent's sleeve, sandals tapping lightly as they walk. Their presence is not disruptive. It belongs, like the sound of crickets or the whisper of bamboo, woven seamlessly into the night. Cicadas, so loud in the heat of the day, have faded now into silence. Their absence is its own kind of music. In their place, crickets begin their song, a quieter, steadier rhythm. The shift feels like the changing of a guard, one chorus bowing out, another stepping gently forward. The transition is so natural, so fluid, that it seems less like replacement and more like continuation. In the tea house near the temple gate, a woman prepares matcha with deliberate care. Her movements are ritual, the bamboo whisk stirred in circles, the surface of the tea frothing into jade-green foam. Each motion is precise, measured, yet also soft, as though her hands are painting calm into the air. Those who watch are silent, not because they must be, but because the act itself invites quiet. From deeper in the grounds, another bell chimes, this one smaller, lighter in tone. Its sound overlaps with the first, the two notes mingling like threads in a tapestry. The overlap is brief, but it feels eternal, a harmony that continues in the memory long after the sound itself fades. Lanterns guide the walkways, their glow reflecting on silk sleeves and polished wood. A pair of visitors in yukata bow before entering a hall, their movements synchronized, as though choreographed by respect itself. Inside, the hall breathes with stillness, its interior dim, its statues and altars touched only by the faintest gleam of candlelight. The atmosphere is not heavy, but soft, like the pause before sleep. Outside, the courtyard rakes of gravel appear more vivid in the dim light. Their patterns ripple with shadow, flowing like water, even though the stones remain still. To walk here is to feel the balance between motion and stillness, between effort and release. The gravel is silent, but it speaks in waves, its language one of patience. The atmosphere of Kyoto at twilight is not filled with spectacle, it is filled with details that ask only to be noticed. The way smoke curls upward, the way sandals tap softly, the way laughter is muffled but never absent. Each element is modest alone, but together they form an orchestra of calm. Even the animals play their part. A frog croaks from the pond, answered by another across the garden. The sound is low, rhythmic, as though the water itself were singing. Fireflies flicker near the edge of the bamboo grove, their glow brief, their presence fleeting, yet their timing feels perfect, appearing exactly when the night has become dark enough to need them. Everywhere, the air is alive with quiet ritual. Monks bowing, visitors sipping tea, incense curling, bells ringing, crickets humming. These are not performances staged for anyone. They are simply the life of the temple at night, offered freely to those who move slowly enough to see. Kyoto does not rush to reveal itself. It waits. It invites. It allows you to step at your own pace, to breathe at your own rhythm. In doing so, it teaches a lesson as old as the temples themselves, that peace is not found in silence alone, but in the harmony of many gentle sounds woven together. And so, as we stand among the courtyards, surrounded by bells, incense, and the low hum of twilight life, we feel ourselves joining the city's rhythm. Our breath slows, our steps soften, our thoughts quiet. The culture of Kyoto is not separate from its temples. It is the atmosphere itself, woven into the air, carried by every lantern, every bough, every whisper of wind.
As the evening deepens, Kyoto reveals another layer of its calm, the quiet comfort of food and drink. Here, even flavors feel like rituals, offered not to excite the senses, but to soothe them. The first is tea, always tea. In a small wooden tea house tucked beside the temple path, matcha is prepared with reverence. A woman in a pale kimono kneels, her movements slow and precise. The bamboo whisk circles through the bowl, coaxing green powder into a froth as smooth as silk. The sound is faint, a whisper of bristles against ceramic, yet it feels important, like the first stroke of a brush across paper. She lifts the bowl and places it before us with both hands. The surface glows with jade green foam, delicate and alive. Lifting it, the bowl is warm against our palms. The first sip is earthy, slightly bitter, but full, grounding. The flavor lingers at the back of the tongue, then softens, leaving behind a calm that feels less like taste and more like breath itself. Beside the tea rests a small sweet, wagashi, shaped like a flower. Its surface is delicate, colored with the pale pink of cherry blossoms. It dissolves slowly on the tongue, its sweetness rising gently, balancing the strength of the tea. Together, the two are not separate experiences, but a single conversation. Bitterness and sweetness, silence and song. As we walk again, the air carries other fragrances. From a nearby home, the steam of rice rises faintly, carrying with it the comfort of evening meals. The scent is plain, unadorned, yet powerful in its simplicity. Rice in Kyoto is more than food. It is a rhythm, a foundation, a reminder that sustenance does not need flourish to be complete. Along the street, small eateries glow with paper lanterns. Inside, bowls of miso soup are set before quiet diners. The steam rises with the scent of broth and seaweed, warming both the hands and the spirit. A side dish of pickled vegetables, bright in color, sharp in flavor, cuts through the richness, refreshing the mouth like a breeze through still air. On another table, chestnuts appear, roasted until their shells crack and curl. Their warmth spills out with a sweetness both smoky and tender. They echo the flavors of autumn, a reminder that Kyoto's food always carries the season within it.
In spring, cherry blossoms flavor rice cakes and sweets, petals folded gently into dough, adding a note of floral calm. In summer, shaved ice melts into syrup, flavored with green tea or yuzu, offering cool relief in the warm nights. Autumn brings persimmons, their orange glow soft in the lantern light, their flavor rich and mellow. Winter offers chestnut paste, warm stews, and hot sake that glows faintly in the cup. Each season breathes through the food, as if nature itself is placed upon the table. We pause again at a tea house, where the air is scented with roasted barley. A cup of mugicha, barley tea, is set before us. Its fragrance nutty, its flavor light. It carries no caffeine, no sharpness, only calm. The tea cools quickly, easy to drink. A reminder that not all warmth is found in heat. Sometimes it rests in gentleness itself. Kyoto's food at night is not meant to dazzle. It is meant to comfort, to slow, to remind the body that nourishment can be quiet. Each sip, each bite is like the bell's echo, not lasting long, yet resonating within. As we leave the tea house, the taste of matcha still lingers faintly, mingled with the sweetness of wagashi. It feels like carrying a secret, soft and fleeting, a memory for the tongue and the heart. The night is fuller now, yet calmer. Our steps are softer, as though the tea itself has taught us how to move more gently. Kiyomer's flavors are not loud companions. They are whispers, reminders, offerings of balance between earth and sky, body and spirit. And so, with tea warming our memory and sweetness still resting on the tongue, we continue deeper into the twilight, where people and lanterns wait to share their quiet elegance. The night gathers not only temples and gardens, but people too, each one moving with the same quiet grace that Kyoto seems to breathe into its air. Along the stone path, a family walks together. The parents move slowly, their child just behind, sandals tapping lightly against the stones. The sound is steady, rhythmic, like a small drum echoing through the courtyard. The child pauses often to peer at lanterns, tracing the painted calligraphy with curious eyes. The parents smile softly, patient, allowing the night to guide the pace.
Nearby, a couple strolls beneath the vermilion torii. They wear yukata, their sleeves swaying gently as they walk. The fabric catches the lantern glow, patterns of cranes and blossoms flickering as though alive. Their hands nearly touch, their gestures subtle, unhurried. It feels as though the night itself has woven them into its tapestry, one thread of movement against many. A group of friends gather by the temple pond, their laughter low and easy. One adjusts the sleeve of her kimono, the silk shimmering in the lamplight. Another kneels to point at koi, gliding beneath the surface, their motions as unhurried as the river itself. Their conversation is gentle, punctuated by small giggles that dissolve quickly into the stillness. They are part of the scene, not apart from it. Monks move steadily through the grounds, their robes a quiet rustle of fabric against stone. Their heads are bowed slightly, their hands folded with ease. Some carry small lanterns, the light swaying with their steps, glowing against the folds of brown and saffron.
Their presence is not commanding, yet it shapes the atmosphere. It feels as though even silence bows to them. Children pass, dressed in bright yukata, patterned with flowers and fans. Their sandals click lightly as they chase one another, laughter breaking out, then softening quickly when a parent raises a gentle hand. Their joy does not disturb the night. It adds texture, like fireflies among the lanterns. Fashion in Kyoto at twilight is not about display. It is about belonging. Yukata of cotton for comfort in summer. Kimono of silk in cooler seasons, their patterns reflecting the time of year. Cherry blossoms in spring, maple leaves in autumn, plum blossoms in winter. Every fabric speaks of time, of nature, of season.
Hair ornaments glint faintly in the lamplight. Small flowers carved from wood, lacquered combs, simple pins. They are understated, never seeking attention, yet their presence feels essential, completing the picture. A sleeve adjusted, a sash tied neatly, a bow made at the temple gate. Each gesture carries its own grace. Even those in modern clothes move differently here. A man in a simple jacket pauses at the gate, bowing slightly before he enters. A woman in a scarf lowers her voice instinctively as she steps onto the temple path. There is no rule requiring this, no sign demanding quiet, yet the atmosphere itself teaches it, guiding every gesture into respect. As lantern light reflects on silk and cotton, the fabrics seem to shimmer like water. A red sleeve glows brighter near the flame, then softens again as the wearer steps away. A white pattern becomes translucent in shadow, glowing faintly like moonlight caught in cloth. The interplay of fabric and light feels endless, always changing, always subtle. To whisper, to see Kyoto at twilight is to see people as part of the temple, not visitors separate from the place, but threads woven into it. Every bow, every step, every adjustment of clothing becomes another verse in the evening's prayer. The night grows cooler, and some wrap their sleeves closer. Others tuck their hands into pockets, scarves drawn higher around their necks. Yet no gesture feels rushed. Even these small acts of comfort carry calm, as though the very air insists upon it. People pass us by, one by one, never lingering long, yet leaving impressions that remain. A glint of silk in the dark, a child's sandal tap, a monk's lantern glow. These details weave together into memory, soft and steady, like the fabric of a dream. And so as we continue, we walk not alone, but among countless presences, each one moving gently, respectfully, elegantly. The fashion, the gestures, the laughter, the bows, all belong not only to the people, but to the night itself. Kyoto does not wear its beauty loudly. It wears it in silence, in fabric, in motion, in the way people simply are. Kyoto is not only a city of temples and gardens, but also of stories. As twilight deepens, these stories seem to rise from the ground itself, whispered through bamboo leaves, carried by the smoke of incense, hidden in the shadows between lanterns. One such story tells of fox spirits, kitsune, who dwell near shrines dedicated to Inari, the kami of rice and prosperity. These foxes are said to be messengers, moving silently between worlds. Some tales say they can take human form, appearing as travelers, merchants, even loved ones. But
In Twilight, when the air is neither day nor night, their presence is most keenly felt. The flicker of a lantern at the edge of vision, the sound of light steps behind you when no one is there. These are said to be the foxes, reminding us that the unseen is always near. By the temple bell, another story lingers. It is said that when a bell rings unexpectedly, it foretells a change. Not doom, not fortune, simply change. A shift in the air, a new chapter turning, the next page of life waiting to be read. The belief is not heavy, but light, like a breeze that stirs leaves. To hear the bell is to be reminded that nothing is fixed, that everything flows onward, just as the river flows past the city.
There is also the story of Twilight itself. In Japan, the word tasogare means "who is it?" A name for dusk, when shapes blur and faces are hard to see. Folklore tells us that twilight is a time when spirits and humans draw close, their worlds brushing like two sleeves in passing. It is not a time for fear, but for awareness, for softness, for remembering that we are never as separate from the unseen as we think. In the gardens, shadows lengthen across the moss. Some say that if you watch closely, you may glimpse a figure that is not there. An old monk sweeping the path, a woman placing flowers at a shrine, a child chasing fireflies. They vanish if you look directly, but their presence remains like the echo of a dream. These are not ghosts meant to frighten, but memories that refuse to leave, companions of the night. Another tale speaks of a lantern that flickers only when someone nearby is thinking of love. Imagine standing by such a light, uncertain whether its glow comes from flame or from the heart. Couples sometimes linger by lanterns, smiling at the chance that their thoughts may have been revealed, their feelings caught in the gentle dance of fire. There are also stories told of foxfire, blue flames that appear in the distance, dancing low across fields and forest edges. Some believe these are the lanterns of kitsune, guiding travelers who have lost their way. Others say they are the laughter of spirits, visible only when night grows quiet enough. Whether fire or imagination, their glow is part of the fabric of Kyoto nights, a shimmer that belongs more to dreams than to earth.
Every temple carries its own legends, each one folded into its stones. At one, a monk is said to have prayed so deeply that his voice still hums in the rafters. At another, a woman once left an offering of flowers that never withered, blooming night after night until they were carried away by the wind. Such stories are not recorded in books. They live in whispers, passed from mouth to ear, carried in the breath of the city. Listening to these tales at twilight feels natural, as though the air itself wishes to share them. None are loud, none demand belief. They are soft, like the sound of water in a hidden stream. Whether true or not does not matter. They exist to remind us that the world is more than what we see, that mystery itself can be gentle. And so, as we walk among temples and lanterns, the stories walk with us. Kitsune watching from the shadows, bells carrying change into the night, spirits brushing past in twilight, lanterns flickering with hidden love. None of it frightens, all of it soothes,
reminding us that life is more than stone and wood, more than light and shadow. It is story, it is dream, it is memory. The night grows deeper, and the folklore grows quieter. The foxes retreat to the forest. The bells rest in silence. The spirits fade into moss and stone. What remains is a sense of continuity, of connection, that we walk not only through a place, but through the memories and imagination of countless generations. And in this way, Kyoto's legends are not separate from its temples. They are the spirit within them, the breath that keeps them alive, even when no one is looking.
The path narrows now, leading us to the heart of stillness. Lanterns grow fewer, their glow softer, until only a scattering of light remains. Beyond a small gate, we enter a garden where a pond stretches out, its surface dark and still, reflecting the silhouettes of temple eaves against the night sky. We sit upon a wooden bench at the water's edge. The wood is cool beneath us, polished by years of quiet visitors. In the pond, koi move slowly, their shapes barely visible, rippling the reflections of lanterns into patterns that shimmer, then fade. The garden feels both vast and intimate, a world reduced to water, stone, and silence. Above, the wind stirs the bamboo. The stalks sway together, creaking softly, their leaves brushing one another with a sound like whispered conversation. It is not loud. It is a language for those who wait, a rhythm as steady as the breath of the earth. Closing your eyes, you might imagine the bamboo speaking to the stars, passing secrets only the night will keep. From the temple hall, the last bell strikes. Its sound is deep, drawn out, and final. It rolls through the air like a wave, touching the surface of the pond, echoing into the forest, dissolving into the valleys. Then silence follows, not emptiness, but fullness. A silence that holds everything within it. The incense smoke still lingers, curling faintly in the air. Its sweetness softer now, almost gone. It drifts upward in threads, joining the night sky as though carrying prayers, carrying thoughts, carrying secrets into the infinite. Watching it, you feel as though your own worries have joined it, lifting away, dissolving into something larger than yourself.
Fireflies blink at the edges of the garden, their glow faint and fleeting, like stars moving close to earth. They appear, vanish, appear again, never in a pattern, but always in harmony. Their presence is brief, yet their message is clear. Beauty does not need to last to be complete. The air grows cooler. The lantern flames tremble slightly, their light swaying with the wind. Each flicker feels like a heartbeat, steady and calm, keeping rhythm with your own. You breathe slowly, evenly, in time with the pond, the bamboo, the flame. A small frog croaks from the water's edge, answered by another across the pond. The sound is low, almost comical, yet it does not break the peace. Instead, it joins it, another thread in the tapestry of the night. everything belongs, nothing disturbs. Kyoto's temples do not ask you to pray, or to believe, or to understand. They ask only that you sit, that you breathe, that you listen. In return, they offer a gift, the reminder that stillness itself can be sacred, that rest can be holy. As your thoughts begin to drift, you notice how heavy your body feels, how soft the night has become. The pond, the bamboo, the lanterns, the bell, all merge into one presence, one calm, one rhythm. It is as if the city itself were singing you to sleep. And so, as the lanterns dim and the stars grow brighter, we close this night together. Kyoto rests, the temples rest, and you too may rest. May your dreams be as gentle as the garden pond. May your breath be as steady as the bamboo in the breeze. May your thoughts drift as softly as incense smoke, carried upward into the night. Sleep comes easily here, not hurried, not forced, but inevitable. Like twilight itself, the hush between worlds, the breath between day and night. And with that, the story ends not in silence, but in rest. Kyoto remains eternal, waiting. But for now, you may let go and drift as softly as the lantern light into sleep.